This is our I Ching reading for the month of July 2023. I'm Johnny Frederick. I am an interpreter of the I Ching to help us understand the signs of the times, how the Tao is flowing for us over the next several weeks, setting an intention for the month of July. And this is the wisdom of the I Ching as I see it and understand it for myself and for you who are listening. This month we have one of the most auspicious readings that I have ever seen. The primary hexagram is number 14, which is called possession in great measure, or sometimes great possessions. And it's the image of heaven underneath in the first trigram, the lower trigram, and then above it fire. Fire is shining high and bright in heaven. The first line and the sixth line are moving. And this changes the hexagram, so our secondary hexagram is number 32. Duration or constancy. We've seen this before. Underneath in the lower trigram is the image of wind or wood, gently moving, the gently penetrating. In this case, it's the gently penetrating wind. And then the upper trigram, that of thunder, rolling, moving, sometimes violent, cataclysmic, energetic, thunder. So, in my many decades of using the I Ching, I've rarely seen a more favorable reading than what the sage is telling us that's in store for us this month. And it's important that we heed the signs and pay attention now, especially to our attitudes, to our thoughts and feelings, and above all, our behavior. For when times are difficult, most people find it easy to go inside and be introspective and look at what they're doing and make changes. But when times are great, when things are bountiful, when we're firing on all cylinders, many times people forget and relax, and their attitudes become loose and arrogant rather than firm and correct. So this hexagram, bringing great possessions in great measure, bountiful, while very favorable, also requires the superior person to maintain attitudes and behaviors of dignity and humility. When the fire of the sun shines brightly in a clear blue sky of heaven, we have clarity on top. Fire represents clarity of vision, and creativity, the creative, moving power of heaven, are combined. And this is a time to move, to act, to grow, and to do. The ruler of this hexagram is the weak yin line in the fifth place, the place of honor. Often the place of the ruler in a I Ching reading in a hexagram is the fifth line. And here it is, the weak yin line surrounded by 5 strong yang lines. And this weak line holds all these powerful forces together, but not by force, but by virtue of humility. This line is modest and unpretentious. And heaven is seen twice in this hexagram. We often look to the inner lines 2, 3, 4, and line 3, 4, 5, to see what's inside. And here we have heaven again in the lower inner triagram, and then in the upper inner triagram we have the lake, the joyous, which is encouraging us to keep it light, keep it fun, and enjoy this time, while also being fully aware of the auspiciousness of the times and our need to pay attention to our attitudes. The Tao is wide open for us now. The universe is always on our side and gives us all things that we need. Here it's giving them in great fullness if we maintain an air of humility. And we can take all the bounty that's being offered and enjoy it. Staying sincere, expressing gratitude, avoiding arrogance and entitlement, and we can take advantage of this time of plenty and keep out of danger. We must not become complacent in this time of abundance and take things for granted, for the Tao is always moving. It's becoming something new, it's transforming often into its opposite, as the yin-yang image symbolizes that you've all seen. The light and the dark, with the seeds of their opposite in the middle. So we make hay while the sun shines, and yet we stay alert, we enjoy, and remember how we have behaved and acted in the ways that things that we have done that have brought about this time of bounty, of bliss, of good. We remember what brought us here: sincerity, simplicity, non-resistance, humility, being firm and correct in our attitude and our thinking and behavior. If we lapse into an attitude of arrogance or overconfidence, of entitlement and privilege, these are sure ways to bring about an end to this time for us, and perhaps even receive some comeuppance. Line 1 is moving at the bottom, and this line at the very beginning of the hexagram reminds us that we're new in this. We can make some mistakes, and indeed we will make mistakes, so expect that. But as we are approaching our good fortune with simplicity, no thoughts of malice, no greed, no evil or negative ideas in our hearts and minds, the I Ching assures us that our mistakes will cause little to no harm, no blame. No blame is the I Ching's way of saying it's not our fault. If we make a mistake, we will be forgiven for innocent missteps and mistakes. But we can only make innocent mistakes if we maintain our air of sincerity and humility. Hexagram 14 has a parallel in Christian theology when Jesus said, "The meek shall inherit the earth." This is parallel to hexagram 14. What more could we want than to inherit the whole earth by our meekness and mildness? Two other important attributes of possession in great measure, the hexagram tells us. This is a favorable time to possess greatness, and we're being offered it, but it doesn't tell us what this greatness involves. That's up to us. We use this time to gather whatever we deem to be our good. And as long as it's truly good, as long as it's not selfish or egotistical, we will be favorably rewarded. And then the other meaning of this hexagram is related. Within the idea of possession in great measure is the idea of offering or giving away a portion of our good fortune in gratitude. The Chinese character for this hexagram is often seen as a hand giving away an offering or a gift, some food. Anyone in 12-step recovery will know that we can only keep what we have by giving it away. when one is blessed so favorably by heaven, there is an inherent need, an inherent obligation to bestow and share and bless others. And this is reinforced by the upper triagram of fire. This is the sun shining in heaven. It gives its light to all without any favoritism. It blesses the whole earth and everyone on it. And so, similarly, we, in this time of bounty, are honor bound to generously give of our many gifts. And this way we emulate the sage who gives everything and withholds nothing. Line 6 at the top is moving too, and this is unique in the I Ching for this line's reading. Usually, the uppermost line is the result, the end of the phase, telling us what is in store, usually that this time is coming to an end. But here, when the 6th line moves, it tells us that this is just the beginning and it will continue this time of bounty, of plenty. The line on the top is still drawn to the humble ruler, the yin line in the 5th place. And the reading for this line, the 6th line, is clear. Blessed by heaven, good fortune, nothing that does not further. Nothing that does not further. Even our mistakes will prove, if we are sincere and correct, to have benefit to us. It's almost like we can do no wrong. Again, I can't emphasize it enough. As long as our attitude is sincere and humble and meek and mild and grateful. Confucius, in his writings in the I Ching, made special note of line 6. He said, and I'll quote, "To bless means to help. Heaven helps one who is devoted. People help others who are true. One who walks in truth, who is devoted in their thinking, and reveres what is worthy is blessed by heaven. Such a one has good fortune, and there is nothing that would not further them." Maintaining our attitude of simplicity, humility, goodness, and joy, the plenty we are blessed to receive will endure. Indeed, rather than metamorphosing, did I say that right? Rather than changing into its opposite, the next hexagram in the I Ching is number 15, and that is the image of modesty. It's a clear signal that the times are indeed uniquely favorable, and it's a warning against pride. Continued modesty is essential for sustained protection and prosperity. When these two lines move, hexagram 14 changes to hexagram 32, duration or constancy. When we have hexagrams that reappear repeatedly in our readings, there's some continuity, which is often true of the I Ching. It keeps giving us the same message until we get it. As we've heard before, duration long endures. It's not stagnation, it's not standing still, but things that last over time due to their nature. What endures? The ancients look to the natural world for examples. In this hexagram, the wind underneath blows, the gently penetrating wind, and the vibrant, active thunder rolls, and they support each other and augment each other and sustain each other, and they build upon each other. Think of a thunderstorm. When that wind starts, and you hear the thunder in the distance, and then each increases as the storm gets closer. The idea of duration tells us when we develop a firmness of character on the inside, while being soft and yielding on the outside, we will achieve lasting results. Firmness is not stubbornness. It's not stiffness. There's a subtle, supple, flexible method to behaving and acting and being in this way. When we are sublimely firm and yet yielding and soft, We have an ease of living that endures in all weather, in all situations, and it works with all manner of people and personalities. If we can emulate the natural phenomenon and maintain in our course, like the planets, like the sun, the moon, the seasons, they hold to their true nature, and then we can hold to our true nature and stay safe, stay on our path. In Buddhism, this is one's dharma. Duration is a state of being whose movement is not worn down or diverted by an obstacle. Developing this type of character takes time and many mistakes along the way, but sincerity in the I Ching always meets with success. So here's the poem for this reading for this month. Great possessions, supreme success, fire in heaven shines far. All things are seen in its light. The yin holds the place of honor. It's weak, it's humble, it's unpretentious, and the whole world is in accord with it. We have strength below and clarity above. We have might within and simplicity and culture without. It's a very favorable time. Power expresses in a graceful, controlled way with modesty and humility. A firm, strong character is ordered and clear, and it finds agreement with heaven, and it moves with the time. This is a time of utmost success. Lodged in the middle, we have heaven again and joy. Heaven is the father, and joy, the lake, is the youngest daughter. We have creative power and joyous living, the fruits of one's modesty. We suppress evil, it must be suppressed so that all is clear and in order. Line 1 moves and says, having nothing to do with anything harmful, there is no blame. We're conscious of difficulties at the beginning and remain blameless. In the beginning, one who possesses greatness can and will make mistakes, but with sincerity and humility, they will remain free of blame. Conscious of these difficulties, free of arrogance, one is not wasteful. The strong yang line in the low place, possessing greatness. Caution is appropriate, yet with mindfulness and humility, one may escape any blame. When line 6 moves, we are blessed by heaven, good fortune, everything serves to further one who is in this high position. Even one in the highest place submits to the weak, humble yin line, holding the place of honor, and the end is like the beginning. It's favorable and auspicious. The situation is harmonious throughout. If at the height of our powers, if at the height of our success, one remains modest, gives honor to God, who stands outside and watches over all of our worldly affairs, and places oneself under the benevolent influence of heaven, everything goes well. In duration and constancy, the gentle wind blows and the rolling thunder is vigorous movement without, while gentle movement is within. These two things long endure together. In union, they long endure. Like all things endure when they are together in union. Duration means long-lasting. Here there is constancy. We emulate the seasons that follow their fixed course. The planets follow their orbits. Within and without, they endure by moving within their limits. The superior person is not rigid. Their character is not frozen in time. They bend and flow. They persevere in their course and keep to an inner directive. Here we have the union of the masculine and the feminine. It's the Tao of the yang and the yin. These two attributes join together and complete the world, and from them all things spring forth. Firmness of character, unity of character, and success, all these things come from duration. And again, no blame. When one is sincere and perseveres, when one has somewhere to go, long endurance is assured. Wind carries the thunder. Thunder strengthens the wind. the feminine and the masculine together in harmony, endure forever. This is our I Ching reading for the 1st of July, 2023. I am blessed to be able to give these ideas to you, this discernment of the way the Tao is moving for us during this time. I am happy to hear from you. Please make comments. Email me with questions. I'm always happy to give private I Ching readings. Please visit my website at www.johnafrederick.com. Sign up for weekly blog posts. Come to Paris for a tour. Namaste.